Shit, it's going on. Yeah, I just want to make a stream. Yeah, a response to my previous. Yeah, on nihilism. Yeah, it was inspired by DS1. I was watching his recent streams, and so I had to fuck my day up. But let's keep it 1,000. You know. Yeah, I try to get a fucking icon, but you know how it is. Some bullshit. But it happens. Like I'm just gonna keep my head together and try not to get pissed off. I'm gonna make this stream quick as possibly can. I'm gonna try to open up here. Let me get set up because I'm a little irritated right now. Because I don't like to get pissed off, but somebody fucked my day up. It's not for kids. Education. Save. Yeah. I'm just going to be on probably be a few minutes. It's going to probably be a shortest live stream because I got irritated by the last. No, I mean, the last live stream. Okay, let's get on with it. The modern day Manosphere. I'm going to pick up where I left off. I had some links in the last one responding to a video that I've seen from DS1 and he made about there's an intellectual nihilism. So basically I just want to put my thoughts on it. It was a good stream that he did. I think he did it like 4 weeks ago, and I've been talking about this topic like 3 months ago before I even was dealing with other content creators at the time. And then I had some thoughts. You got a lot of people spreading this black pill stuff around and making that the standard, in which it's not true. That's just a philosophy that's been used for years and years. Yeah, you have a lot of defeatist people in that space, especially 2.0. It's basically esoteric knowledge. And once you have too much esoteric knowledge, it gets kind of crazy. To the point it gets annoying. Like, they just try to make it clear cut answers. But yeah, I'm just going to put this in. Just give me a second. Ask anybody to come up and dispute the last video. I might not be here much longer. I'll see if I can respond to it, because the last live stream I did, it was based off nihilism. But yeah, it's like a response to my last video in my last stream that I did. It was like a 40-minute live stream, like 40 plus minutes, and I just put some links in. It's like a response from DS1's intellectual nihilism, and that's what inspired me to make it. And I want to put my 2 cents in. And he jot down some key points of individuals believing a certain leader that's nihilist, and who we're talking about, that's pushing it. But they forget that he also talks about utilitarianism in his last Black Pill videos. That's what my recent esoteric videos is about, to summarize the common things is in the 2.0 Black modern day manosphere space. But I will make a video on Epicureanism and go in depth that is connected to utilitarianism. That's going to be on May 1st. And that's on a Saturday, I believe. Yes, I got a few links ending with that video. That's going to be lengthy as I can, and I can make it. So yeah, if anyone's come up with dispute from the last, I would say the last live stream, I might do a screen share and show you what I'm talking about. Let's get to my channel for a minute, because you got individuals talking about this stuff and they just throw stuff around and try to fool people. But yeah, let's see here. I'm going to share it and see. I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. Share screen. Yeah, Chrome tab. Let's go to my video and I'm going to see something here. Okay, the last video, you see that right here, Nihilism in the Modern Black Manosphere. Check that out. That's just me talking about the modern day manosphere in general. And it's a response video to DS1's intellectual nihilism. I just put some links in those videos and I was reading certain topics of it, just round them off. Yeah, it's just a response. I did kind of well with the links. It's my first time doing them. And I put some points down, and I've been talking about this stuff for like 3 months. So yeah, you got these dudes believing they have this defeatist attitude and they think like the world's going to end and man's the problem. It's extreme stuff, you know, and as you can see on the channel, I have it. And it's like what I'm trying to do is see why they think like this stuff. And it's real sad that, yeah, it's on my channel. I'm going to go in for a minute. It right up in here. And then you just watch. But it's a 48 minute 47 live stream. I don't know if I want to play it, but I'm just going to leave it be. So yeah, I'm going to stop screen share. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to stop the screen share for a minute. Yeah, I just want to get some thoughts on it to make it clear. Nihilism, yeah, it's a form of destructive behavior. You got individuals believing in it in so many words, and got it. And you got several different ideologies out there they're pushing. So basically you just have time, you know. I'm just gonna react what's going on. And yeah, I'm just gonna put a screen share of it again, show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna get some summary, some clarity here. And we're gonna speed it up. Chrome tab. All right. Let's share it. Yeah. Oneself. Yep. That's the easy joints. Yeah. Y'all can read that. This is from our previous. Yes, we talk about a lot of things in nihilism. I mentioned in previous video I did live stream, so I'm going to do this one again. Yes, we understand the noun is the total rejection of established laws and institutions, anarchy, and also mentions terrorism or revolutionary activity. We just mentioned that from the previous. Total, absolute destructiveness, especially towards the world at large, including oneself. See? And the powerful mad nihilists, the marks of Hitler's last years. That's what they add Hitler for. But some people don't believe he killed himself. But, you know, that's a whole nother story. But I'm not going to get into that. All right. The philosophy of it. An extreme form of skepticism, denial for all real existence, or the possibility of an objective basis for truth. Nothingness or non-existence. Yeah, you got a lot of that rampant in the modern day 2.0 Black Manosphere, so-called Black Manosphere, they would call it, what Wacky would say. But yeah, you know, and then we talk about the revolutionary groups in it, and yeah, this is my take on it. It is at an extreme side. It's very, very, very extreme side, because basically you have nihilism in its forefront. And what it does, the ideology just grows. Like, you know, you develop that over time. But in a pill sense, they would say this a lot in Black Pill. And It's very common. Let's see. We're going to talk about the black pill. Give me 1 second to type it in. Yeah. Because you got a lot of dudes talking about this stuff. Talking about riots, anarchy, and you got the virtual nihilism of incels. Yeah, it's a lot of good points that DS1 made. I really like what he was saying. And it's some fair criticisms. So, and you got all these Quoras and all that. But, I'm just looking at something, but ain't much. But yeah, that's all I got to say on nihilism, man. Like, it's very common. They teach this destructive nature and they just get in emotion, like total rejection of life, because a lot of dudes have a defeatist attitude. It's coming around that crazy, but like I care. Like that's part of the reason. And they just get in emotion. But yeah, nihilism is an extreme side. It's basically you just have people dealing with this ideology for a long time. And I know a certain individual he's talking about, I think he was talking about the master teacher himself. But basically he's just a utilitarian to me, but he is teaching a nihilistic view. So yeah. So, but anyone wants to come up and explain the nihilism of the topic, I'll be on a couple more minutes. If anyone wants to come up, I'm just going to drop the link again. So if anybody wants to get down with it, so you're welcome to the stream. Yeah. Yeah. If anybody wants to come up, feel free. Cause I still got this on my tab. See who's coming in. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody can come up and refute my last video, but cause I ain't gonna be on much longer. But you gotta understand, like, yeah, it's common in the space, but you got individuals believing in this type of rhetoric and they get mighty strong and they just, it's just one of the things you don't worry about it. But so yeah, I'm just talking about it. If he wants to come up, I'll be on, but I'll be on mute for a while. I'm gonna give myself a watch. I'm looking at a live stream by NT, but I don't know what they talking about. Talk about something silly. But yeah. It's probably not on tonight. Yeah, he's probably taking a break. Good for him. Yeah. Let's see what's going on in the sports world. Okay. I'm gonna deal with this for a minute because somebody's messing it up for me. I'll be back in a few. Yeah, I'm just trying to see who's gonna come on and like the response of nihilism, man. It's very common in the space, but I found it from DS1's videos. I just subscribed to him today. I mean, he's got some good content, and he's exposing brothers that are misled and all that stuff. But he's been calling out since what, 3 years ago. It's very, very great observation. I've been observing for like the last year what's going on in this new style of format of, the Manosphere, what we see today. And the talking points is very similar from way back when, but it's changed since I've left since 2014 when I stopped making content. I was looking to enhance my own life, whatever. But basically, I'm just throw up this live stream, it's like an open chat or response to the links I threw out. But like the basis of what I'm talking about is nihilism. But and ain't that much for me to go on. So, yeah. It's just like recent, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna scroll down here for me. But if you want to know the moral nihilism, which people talk about, or relativism, they got different versions. You got people teaching this stuff. So, I might show you a link or two. I'll share this as well. Share screen. Content. All right. Oh, look at this right here. Okay. Okay. Moral nihilism or ethical nihilism, they known as. Forms of nihilism. Moral nihilists agree that all claims such as murder is morally wrong are not true, but different nihilistic views differ in two ways. Some may say that such as claims are neither true nor false. Others say that they are all false. Nihilists differ in the scope of their theories. Error theorists typically claim that it's only distinctively moral claims, which are false. Practical nihilists claim that there are no reasons for action of any kind. Some nihilists extend this claim to include reasons for belief. And that's what it says. And then I'll read ethical language. False versus not true at F. J.L. Mackey argues that the moral assertions are only true if there are moral properties, but there are some none such claims are false. Under such moral review propositions, which special beliefs are extremely systematically in error, from the Mackey's view. Yeah, that's like a nihilistic view for fictionalism. Yeah, I've done some vids on it, but yeah, you can look at itself. And let's look at egoist anarchism. Yeah. Max Stirner, a nihilist. Here we go. Let's talk about it. Anarcho-Egoism, often shortened as simple egoism, is a school of anarchist thought. It originated the philosopher of Max Stirner, a 19th century essentialist philosopher whose name appears with familiar regularity in historical-oriented surveys of an anarchist, thought as one of the earliest best-known exponents in the individualist anarchists. Most anarchists are nihilists, if y'all would notice, and they have these beliefs. It's like far-left beliefs. And let's look at Max Stirner's philosophy. And let's look him up. He is a nihilist, though. Yes. He was born in October 25th, 1806. Died in June 26th. I mean, he's born on October 25th. Okay. He would be a Scorpio. And he died on a Cancer month, I believe. Yeah. Known profession is Max Stirner. His name is Johannes Caspar Schmidt. He's a German name, but is known as Max Stirner. Was a German post-Hegelian philosopher, dearly mainly with the Hegelian notion of social alienation and self-conscious. Stirner is often seen as one of the forerunners of nihilism, essentialism, psychoanalytic theory, and postmodernism, and an individual anarchism. Yep. He's the father of that. He's one of the forerunners of nihilism. I just want to use him as an example for y'all. Now, he is a nihilist, a historical one, known for his past and all the stuff you teach. And most people believe in his doctrine. In the biography of him, you can read this on wikipedia.org. Max Stirner. It's a German guy. That's when people start reading these German philosophy. They go crazy in this space. The philosophy of Stirner. Let's see who comes up. Oh, actually, nobody. Okay, I can read this. Hold on. I may go a little longer. Okay. The philosophy of Stirner, whose main philosophical work is the ego in its own, is credited as a major influence in the development of nihilism, existentialism, and postmodernism, as well as individual anarchism, post-anarchism, and post-left anarchy. Although Stirner was opposed to communism, he's opposed to communism. He's against communism. For the same reason he opposed capitalism and humanism and liberalism and property rights and nationalism, seeing them as forms of authority over the individual as a purveyors of the ideologies he could not reconcile with. He has influenced many anarcho-communists and post-left anarchists. The writers of an anarchist frequently asked questions reported that many in the anarchist movement in Glasgow, Scotland took Stirner's Union egoists literally are as the basis of the anarcho-syndicalists organizing in the 1940s beyond, similar to noted the anarchist historian Max Nettelu states that on the reading of Stirner, I maintain that he cannot be interpreted except in a socialist sense. Stirner was anti-capitalist and pro-labor, attacking the division of labor resulting from private property for deadening the effects on the ego and individually of the worker, and writing the free competition. It's not free because I lack the things of the competition. Under the regime of commonality, that the laborers always fell into the hands of the possessors of property for its deadening effects of the ego of a worker competition. Oh, no. Okay. My fault. I read it wrong. Okay. The hands of the predecessors of the capitalists. Okay. The laborer cannot realize on his labor to the extent of the value that is is for the customer, but the states rest on the slavery for the laborer. If the labor becomes free, the state lost. For example, for Stirner, the labor has an egotistic character. The labor is the egoist. Stirner does not personally oppose the struggles carried out by certain ideologies such as socialism, Ludwig Feuerbach, humanists, or the advocacy of human rights. Rather, he opposed their legal ideal attractiveness and the fact that makes him different from the liberal individualists, including the anarcho-capitalists and right libertarians, okay, but also from the Artisan theories of fascism, as he places in the individual in the center and not the sacred collective. About socialism, Stirner wrote in a letter of the Moses Hess that I am not at all sacred love, not against thought, but against sacred thought, not against socialists, but against sacred socialism. And you got Egoism by Stirner. I'll read that and check what's going on. Yeah, man. If y'all want to come up, okay. All right, what's going on? Yeah. If y'all want to come up, or the links already in the chat. I already pinned the link. So yeah, I'm gonna read this in a minute. Okay. I'm gonna get a screen share. Let's Egoism. It's purely descriptive as an attempt to surpass the very idea of art itself to try to fit Stirner's into the contemporary mindset misses the point. Stirner argues that individualists are impossible to fully comprehend. All mere concepts of the self will always be inadequate to fully describe the nature of our experience. Stirner has been broadly understood as a descriptive of both psychological egoism and rational egoism. Hence, that this self-interest is necessarily subjective, allowing both selfish and altruistic normative claims to be included. Although he wrote that my selfishness is not supposed to love, nor is an enmity of sacrifice, nor of self-denial. This self-interest is also unlike the narrow and self-defeating egoism of Ayn Rand, as Stirner did not prescribe what was and what's not in person self-interest, but he did not say you should act a certain ways because he did not redefine selfishness to allow most vigorous morality to remain intact. Rather, he urges the individual to think for themselves, seek their own path. Not for Stirner, the grim egoism of selfishly living determined by some guru in which only that authority figure would approve of. A true egoism is not parroting what Stirner wrote, agreeing with everything he expounded. Nothing could be more foreign to Stirner's works that invented the Stirnerism. In this sense, Donald Room, who combines Stirner's anarcho-communism, wrote that I am happy to be called Stirnerite, the anarchist. But by Stirnerite means who agrees with Stirner's general drift, not one who agrees Stirner's every word, but please judge my arguments on their merits, not the merits of Stirner's arguments, and not by the test of whether I conform to Stirner's individual self realization resets on each individual desire to fulfill their egoism. The difference between an unwilling and willing egoist is that the former will be possessed by an empty idea, believe that they are fulfilling a higher cause. Yep, you hear the word cause. But usually being unaware that they are only fulfilling their own desires to be happy or secure. In contrast, the later will be the person that is able to freely choose its action, fully aware that they're only fulfilling the individual desires as it states by Stirner. Sacred things exist only egoist who does not acknowledge himself involuntary egoist. In short, for the egoist would like not to be egoist and abases himself, but at the same time abases himself only for the sake of being exalted, therefore gratifying his egoism, because he would like to create, he would like to see to be an egoist, but he looks being in heaven in order for higher beings to serve and sacrifice himself to. But however much he shakes his disciplines himself, in the end, he does all for his own sake on this account. Call him the involuntary egoist. As you are an instant, you are your own creature. In this very creature, you do not wish to lose yourself, the creator. You are yourself higher being than you are and suppress yourself. Just this is involuntary egoism. You fail to recognize, therefore, the higher hence is to you as an alien essence. The alienness is creation of the sacred. Contrast is also expressed in terms of the difference between the voluntary egoist and being possessor of the concepts, as opposed to being a possessed. Only when realized that all sacred truths such as law, morality, and religion, so on are nothing other than their artificial concepts, not to be obeyed, but can only be acted freely. For Stirner, to be free is to be both one's own creature in the sense of creation and one's own creation dislocated in a traditional role and assigned to the gods. Stirner, the powerful is the method of nothing. I say the power of the egoism is only justified method gaining property of the philosophical sense. According to the authors of the anarchist frequently asked questions, Stirner rejects the claim of modern day libertarian capitalists who regard profit as the key of selfishness and argue that Stirner has possessed by one aspects of itself. The writers quote Stirner as saying, "Who is ventures everything else for one thing, one object, one will, one passion is ruled by passion, to which he brings the rest as a sacrifice." Similar to Stirner, has nothing but a contempt for those who defend the property in the terms of the natural rights and oppose left, and the taxation with the passion because it violates the said rights. The Stirner was also aware that inequality was only possible as long as the masses were convinced and the sacredness of the property. And in this way, the majority ended up without property. Therefore, Stirner urges an insurrection against all forms of authority and disrespect for property. Yeah. And anarchism, you got communism, revolution, talking about his beliefs. This is Stirner's belief. He is a nihilist. Yes. I'll mention him part of this video as well. Well known. Classic nihilist, as we can see here. So yeah. He's really big and common talked about in the space, but you got guys that believe in this man. He's really viable in his teachings. There's a lot of people probably read some of his stuff. They read other nihilists, but you hear none of them talk about him, but he's very common in this culture. So we're going to get into it with anarchism. That's basically what nihilism is in this extension. That's the connection of it. Communism had a bits and piece of it. That's a small fragment. Socialism is, but when we're dealing with far left ideologies, that's basically what nihilism is. So you see the picture right here. And he's the one in the middle with the glasses. And there's Benjamin R. Tucker right there. E. Armand. Yeah. Max Stirner or something like that. Yeah, Stirner. And I don't think you can blow it up any more further. Let's see if it loads. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Oh, okay. It does the same thing. Okay. We're going to go here. And we're going to go back down again. Let's read this again. Okay. His purpose most commonly accepted social institutions, including the notion of the state property as a right, natural rights in general, that very notion of society, were mere illusions, spooks, or ghosts in the mind. He advocated egoism a form of amoralism. I'll get that in a second. It's like an amoralist mindset, very black pilled, in which individuals would unite in unions of egoists only when it was in their self-interest to do so. For him, property simply comes, all about through might saying, whoever knows how to take to defend. The thing to him belongs property. What I have in power, that is my own. So as long as I assert myself as holder, I am a proprietor of the thing. He adds, I do not shy back from your property, but I look upon it. I look upon it. Yeah, I look upon it as always my property, in which I respect nothing. Prayer to do like with what you're called my property. Sterner considered the world and everything in it, including other persons, available to one takes or use without moral constraint, and that the rights do not exist in regards to objects and the people at all. He sees no rationality in taking the interests of others into account, unless doing so further one's self-interest, which he believes in the only legitimate reasons for acting. He denies society as being an actual entity, calling society a spook that is individually are its reality, despite being labeled as an anarchist. Stirner was not necessarily one, but separation of Stirner and egoism from anarchism was first done in 1914 by Dora Martinson in her debate with Benjamin Tucker in her journals, The New Free Woman and the Egoists. The idea of egoist anarchism was also expounded by various other egoists, mainly Malfid, Skelu, and Sidney E. Parker. Yeah, these are like nihilistic people. I just want to touch this piece, but the communism piece, you can read the rest for yourself on the Max Stirner, the Wikipedia, the n.wikipedia.org, and talk about his own ego, Stirner critics. Yeah, he's a German philosopher, a nihilistic philosopher, and a lot of anarchists does his preaching. He's very common in these nihilistic circles, well known. He's one of the forerunners of it. Just to give you an example why you got brothers in a certain sector believes in nihilism is very common in the space. But I'm gonna stop the screen share. And yeah, man. It's like 30 minutes. Yeah. Perhaps between the Brotherhood of Man of God. Okay, let's see what's in the chat. Narcissism, similar concept, but the Greek myth describes this condition. Perhaps this is the concept that tries to describe the difference between the man of life and the man of darkness. Yes, it's sort of like that, but it's like a far left mindset. And the Brotherhood of Man of God, she wrote, yes, this right here is exactly what it is. When you have nihilists like that running around, they pass that point of narcissism right there. Some of them are narcissistic, some of them are sociopathic, but 9 out of 10, they're really sociopathic. They have this extreme side, they're destructive and self-harm. They basically, when you hear far left people talking this radical, revolutionary thinking, it happens in several countries, but the ideology is still there. And I think people say it's very black-pilled in its own form, but yes, it is what it is, like the term says. And set, yes, it's the mindset. And what I just read about Max Stirner, he has some of the traits of it, what they thought him as a philosopher. He's well known in that ideology, just many others, and I can show you again. I might have to screen share Nihilist Philosophers again. I want to show you what I'm talking about. And I'm going to do this right quick. Screen share. Chrome tab. Those philosophers. Let's share it. Yeah, this guy right here. See, it's all of them. See? It's all of them. Gorgios, all of them. They all had that mindset. This is not new. And you got these dudes in the space believing these guys, probably got their books. They recognize, here's the woman I was talking about. She's a nihilist. You know what I'm saying? They have one woman. Everybody else is all male. You notice that? I just show you the philosophers that they got. You can look this up on Google if you want. But I just read a piece of him in the wiki, Max Stirner and all this stuff. I'm going to show you some more images of him, how they depict him. Here he goes right here in images. You got Stirner versus Marx. Karl Marx was a communist, well known. I ain't gonna say the J word, I'm just gonna call them the EWs, but you know how they are. Individuality and the social organism. By Philip Bree Demetrius. Yeah, stand alone, but showing you Max Stirner, the nihilist, has anarchist views. He's a well-known nihilist. Yeah, they got depicting arts. That's what he looked like. He's a German guy. So yeah, he's well known. A lot of people praise him in the anarchist circles. And that's what's wrong with the Black Manosphere, the modern day 2.0. That's what they pushing. They got guys like him and others they teach. It's common. This is nothing new. But when you have a nihilistic mindset, it's very true, like what these guys do. But of nihilism, yeah. I'm gonna stop the share. Yeah, man. It's just like you have all this stuff out here. But yeah, basically, I just want to get my piece on it, man. Like when I saw his video, he talking about intellectual nihilism. That's very common, you know. And I think people just got to be careful when you're dealing with these type of topics because they can be extremely dangerous. They tend to lead to destruction at the end. I just don't see people pushing this in the future. I just want the brothers to be careful. Like when you have this ideology, man, this is make you go extreme. I just feel like people just need to understand that this ideology is so dangerous. It can be in its tailspin. So yeah, I mean, you brothers out there, man, pay attention because these dudes is preaching this stuff. Nihilism is like, it's a cool concept at first, but what I understand it from coming to these spaces before, I used to read the stuff before I even was part of that Manosphere stuff back in 2012. So yeah, I've been reading philosophy for years, and it's not changed since yet. But basically, you just got individuals preaching this stuff. But yeah, if anyone wants to come up or not, I need a 15-minute break. Or should I take gone? I'll say 10 minutes. See if anyone comes up. So if y'all hit the thing or you removed it, and see, we can have a discussion on it. Yeah. So I'll be back in 10 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to keep this up that long, but give me 10 minutes. I'll be back. All right. It's loud in the room. All right. We're back. Yeah. If anyone wants to come up, talk about nihilism, I greatly appreciate it. Yeah. I just want to put this in perspective. So yeah, nihilism. Yeah, man, it can be a hassle for the Manosphere's perspective, but you know how it gets down. You know, people getting their little emotions and they just want to be involved in greatness. But you know, yeah, I just want to touch on something like I had Max Stern in the pot. But great video by DS1's like he had 4 weeks ago, and I just want it's just like a little response. So you know, just like if anyone wants to come up and discuss it, we can have this discussion about it. I mean, it's very running rapid. Yeah, I just dropped a few links and see what y'all think. But if anybody doesn't want to come up, that's fine. I'll be still waiting for another I'll say another a minute or two. So see what I can do here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna just probably post a few more links and see. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, talking about nihilism, and I'm probably gonna see something for a minute. Uh-oh. Here we go. Found something. Found something. A screen share. A screen share. Oh, buddy. Got work to do. Essentialism. Yeah. We got it. The belief nothing matters. Essentialism. Its attempt to confirm dealt with meaningless, to succumb to nihilism, despair, to not to give up or avoid responsibility. Yeah. So yeah, they give us the precepts. They try to say why this is wrong. You can read that. I'm just throwing out stuff. Yeah. It's very variations. But yeah, you can look this for yourself. But I don't see the differences. Okay, I'm gonna pull this up. Yeah. Get this here. What's the difference between essentialism and okay, I do not have any formal training in these subjects or any philosophy that's personal. Okay, so forgive me for being a naive question, as I also understand all these viewpoints. Okay, there's no inherent meaning. Okay, he's just answering questions. He says, and as I understand it, these takes the view the existence precedes essence, that the life has no inherent meaning, but only whatever meaning the individual person explicitly ascribes for himself. Where do these ideas differ, or are they still the same? Okay. Here's the answers. Three answers says there are a few places you can go back and click online. They said the wiki and all that stuff. Okay. Essentialism. Yeah, it's a questionnaire. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff in here, man. Like I'm just pulling stuff out of the hat right now. Yeah, man. Like you know, just gonna leave this alone for a little quick. Yeah, I'm gonna stop screen share for a minute. Put this out. Yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna end it. So with that, because people ain't look like they coming up, because I know people's doing different streams. I might. You know what? That's a male bashing. See who's on. Ooh, everybody's on tonight. Okay, I just did one with nihilism. You know what? I might do a utilitarian video next. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a stream on that. And let's talk about it. All right. Shalom.